You lack confidence, not because you lack talent, but because you are weak. You fear failure. You fear judgment. You fear facing harsh reality. But the world does not care about your fears. If you do not change, you will always be on the sidelines watching others achieve what you want. Confidence is not a gift. It is something you must train. And it does not come from cheap motivation, but from building disciplined habits, controlling emotions, and daring to take risks. In this video, I will show you 7 Stoic principles to develop unshakable confidence. If you truly want to change, don't skip a single second. If you feel the positive energy, don't forget to like this video and share a meaningful comment. Life is unfair and will never be fair. This is a truth everyone knows but few accept. Most people cling to comforting illusions that if they work hard enough, persist long enough, and become good enough, they will have everything they desire. But reality is far harsher. Some are born at the finish line, while others, no matter how hard they try, never escape rock bottom. This truth may anger many, but that anger changes nothing. Stoicism is not about complaining about injustice or blaming someone else. It is about facing reality without being controlled by emotions. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest leaders, once wrote, "You can be angry at reality, but reality does not care." Your anger does not make life fairer, does not make you wealthier, does not make you happier. It only wastes your time and energy. A Stoic understands that the only thing they can control is themselves. They do not dwell on what is beyond their reach. They do not try to bend the world to their will. Instead, they adapt and use their circumstances to grow. When they lose a job, they do not drown in feelings of injustice. They immediately look for new opportunities. When a relationship fails, they do not waste time blaming their partner. They reflect and learn from their mistakes. Confidence does not come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling yourself. When you can see reality objectively, remain unaffected by emotions, and act based on logic, you will fear nothing. You expect nothing from the world, yet you know that no matter what happens, you will stand firm. That is the foundation of unshakable confidence. Complaining is one of the fastest ways to destroy confidence. Every time you complain, you remind yourself that you are a victim, that you lack control over your life, that you need someone or something to change before you can improve. But that will never happen. No one cares about your complaints, and even if they do, they cannot change your life for you. A Stoic never complains because they understand that complaining achieves nothing but wasting time and energy. If they can change a situation, they act. If they cannot, they accept. The only thing they do not do is whine about it. This is why they have unshakable confidence. When you stop complaining, you train your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, on action instead of negative emotions. Look around you. Who are the people always complaining about their jobs, their lives, or others? Have they ever achieved anything great? Are they truly happy? The answer is almost always no. On the other hand, the most successful, strongest, and most confident people are those who rarely complain. They do not have time for it. They are too busy doing what needs to be done to change their situation in their favor. If you want unshakable confidence, eliminate the habit of complaining starting now. The next time you feel the urge to complain, stop and ask yourself, will complaining change anything? If the answer is no, stay silent and find a solution. You will realize that simply quitting the habit of complaining will make you stronger, more resilient, and more in control of your life. True freedom does not come from doing whatever you want, it comes from controlling yourself. It may sound paradoxical, but think about it realistically. If you only do what feels good, you become a slave to your emotions, temptations, and laziness. You want to wake up early to work out, but the comfort of sleep holds you back. You want to eat healthy, but junk food constantly tempts you. You want success, but you procrastinate because you dislike hardship. You think you are doing what you want, but in reality, your short-term desires are controlling your life. Stoics understand that discipline is the key to strength. When you have discipline, you are not ruled by fleeting emotions. You do not quit just because something is difficult. You do not let temporary comfort block your long-term goals. When you develop discipline, you can force yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And that is what builds true confidence. Look at people with iron discipline. They have a strong, unshakable presence. They know what they are doing, and they trust themselves. Not because they are better than others, but because they have trained themselves not to be controlled by emotions. They do not need motivation. They do not need inspiration. They do what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build through daily actions. Every time you control yourself, every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you strengthen your belief in yourself. But every time you quit, every time you give in to laziness, you are telling yourself that you are weak. And if you don't even believe in yourself, why should anyone else? If you want unshakable confidence, start with discipline. Wake up on time. Keep promises to yourself. Do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. When you master yourself, you will no longer fear what the world throws at you. Because you know that, no matter what happens, you have the strength to overcome it. If you need others to validate your worth, you have already lost. As long as you crave external approval, you are still being controlled. This world is full of people who live only to be accepted, from choosing careers, building their image, to even how they talk, dress, or think. But the problem is, no one actually cares about you as much as you think. And if you live by other people's expectations, you are giving up control over your own life. Stoics do not let themselves be bound by praise or criticism. They understand that other people's opinions do not change reality. If you are great, you are great, even if no one acknowledges it. If you are weak, flattery will not make you any better. Epictetus once said, "If someone tries to hurt you, remember that it is merely their opinion, not reality." What others think is not as important as what you know about yourself. People who lack confidence always seek validation. They need praise to feel valuable. They fear criticism because they identify themselves with how others perceive them. But here is the truth. You cannot control what others think, and you do not need to. You can do everything to please someone, but they may still not like you. You can try your best, but there will always be someone who criticizes you. And if your confidence is based on recognition, you will always live in insecurity. If you want unshakable confidence, stop seeking approval. Act because you believe it is right, not because you want recognition. When you no longer need validation, you will become more respected. Because at that moment, you are no longer following the crowd, but truly taking control of your own life. No one becomes strong or confident by staying in one place. This world belongs to those who take action, those who dare to put themselves in difficult situations, those who take risks to get what they want. On the other hand, those who are timid, who fear failure, who fear judgment, who fear stepping out of their comfort zone will always be stuck in mediocrity. You cannot build confidence if you're not willing to face risk. Stoics understand that risk is an inevitable part of life. You can do everything right and still fail. You can prepare thoroughly and still make mistakes, and that is completely normal. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you that determines your fate, but how you respond to it." The issue is not about avoiding risk, but about learning how to face and overcome it. Look back at your life. How many opportunities have you missed just because you feared failure? How many times have you let fear stop you from doing what you wanted? If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, if you keep avoiding difficult situations, you will never move forward. Confident people are not those who have no fear, but those who act despite their fears. Next time you face an important decision, don't ask yourself, "What if I fail?" Instead, ask yourself, "What if I do nothing?" You might fail, but at least you tried and learned something. But if you do nothing, you have already failed from the start. Confidence does not come from avoiding risk. It comes from facing it, accepting the consequences, and moving forward. Confidence does not come from showing off or making loud statements. It comes from calmness, consistency, and the ability to control emotions in any situation. If you lose your composure every time you are criticized, if you let fear dictate your actions, if you react impulsively to every problem, you are not confident. You are simply easy to manipulate. Stoics understand that emotions cannot be eliminated completely, but they can be controlled and directed to serve your goals. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that no one can make you angry, anxious, or afraid unless you allow them to. When you overreact to a situation, it is not because the situation is too serious, but because you have not yet mastered yourself. People with unshakable confidence never allow external events to manipulate their emotions. Look at truly strong individuals. They do not get caught up in meaningless drama. They do not react impulsively, and they do not let fear stop them from acting. They do not suppress their emotions, but they do not let emotions control them either. When faced with difficulties, they do not complain or lose composure. They step back, assess the situation objectively, and make decisions based on logic, not fleeting emotions. If you want to build solid confidence, start by mastering your own mind. Every time you feel anger, fear, or anxiety, stop and ask yourself, does this really matter? Is it worth losing control over? When you can maintain calmness in stressful situations, you will no longer be controlled by the outside world. And when that happens, you will have a confidence that no one can shake. True confidence is not blind faith that everything will always go smoothly, but the certainty that no matter what happens, you will stand firm. This can only be achieved if you always prepare for the worst. Weak people live in the illusion that life will be easy, that if they do everything right, they will avoid failure, pain, or loss. But reality is the opposite. Failure is inevitable. Suffering is part of life, and those who are not prepared will collapse when hardships come. Stoics are not foolishly optimistic. They practice a technique called premeditatio malorum, visualizing the worst things that could happen. This does not mean they are pessimistic or expect bad things, but that they mentally and strategically prepare to handle them. If they lose their job, they already have a financial backup plan. If a relationship ends, they are ready to move on without losing themselves. If they fail, they see it as a lesson rather than a disaster. On the other hand, people who never consider the worst will fall apart at the first sign of trouble. They panic, complain, and look for someone to blame. They have no backup plan, no mental preparation, and as a result, they lose control. But if you have already considered the worst possibilities, when they actually happen, you will not be caught off guard. You will remain calm, focused, and ready to act. Confidence does not come from hoping that everything will be okay. It comes from preparing to face every possible scenario. When you are no longer afraid of hardships, when you know that you can handle anything, you will have a confidence that nothing can shake. Confidence is not something you are born with, nor is it something you can gain just by reading a few books or listening to motivational speeches. It is the result of how you live every single day. Strong people are not confident because they are better than others, but because they have trained themselves to face reality ruthlessly, to stop complaining, to maintain discipline, to stop seeking validation, to embrace risk, to control their emotions, and to always prepare for the worst. If you apply these 7 habits to your life, you will become a different person. You will no longer fear challenges, no longer be affected by others' opinions, and no longer be ruled by emotions. You will walk into the world with an unshakable mindset where nothing can break you. Remember, confidence does not come from fancy words or self-delusion. It comes from action, and it starts right now with the choices you make every single day. Thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment so we can spread positivity together.